Hello, everyone. Vinyl community, YouTube, welcome. Uh, my name is Bill Young, and this is the Michigan Record Club. And today, I'm just going to try to get caught up on a bunch of records that I've bought in the past month. A few of the records I got at the end of the year. Around Christmas, but anyhow, after my last video. But yeah, I got quite a few records, quite a stack. I've been fighting cancer and fighting off colds in the winter and trying to stay healthy and everything. Been doing a pretty good job, but still, it takes its toll on me, and I sometimes fall behind a little. But I would like to start out. I'm going to, sometimes I use some notes. Today I'm definitely going to be using some notes. There's quite a stack here, and help me get through them all. I got quite a few psych, half of them, as you would expect, are psych records, and the rest of them are my usual hard rock and roll and just good old music. Yeah, the first one, a lot of these are also reissues. Of course, psych music is so expensive, as you guys all know. The first one, it's hard to even get a hold of a reissue, and it is Archangel. That's how you pronounce it. It's pretty. Yeah, a lot of these also, they're pressed in Europe. This one was pressed in 2019. Originally, it's a 1968 copy. They're an English band. Archangel was originally called Uriel, and there's 3 tracks on here from Uriel. They changed their name to Egg, and of course, Egg is a great album, psych album. They're on Decca. Decca owned the rights to the band, so to speak. So when they made Archangel, they had to change their name, and so yeah, this one is it's got its own label, of course, and everything, but Ethion or something like that's the name of the label. Moving right along, next up is Ant Trip Ceremony, and this album is called 24 Hours. This one was also pressed in Europe. I bought it from Europe. In 2010, this one was pressed. Originally, this album came out in 1968. It was made by a group of college kids at Oberlin College in Ohio, and very talented young kids. And this album is awesome. It's really good. It's pressed on what's called Vinyl Lovers label, and yeah, it's one of those albums that psych collectors have tried to get a hold of, and it's worth it. It's really good. Both of those first two albums are albums that I've been wanting for a long time, so that's why I went ahead and got the reissues. the next reissue I got as a present. And you might have seen this album recently if you are uh, subbing Steve Carlson. He's showed this record a couple of times recently. I think he showed it when he first got it. He called it one of his top records of that he got last year, I think, and he just did a video for his favorite records from 1970, and he also put this as one of the top 10 records, 1970. That was his favorite. Steve is not really, he's known for a lot of punk rock, a lot of Zam rock, African, a lot of world music. Well, this one is from a group that was down in Peru, Peruvian group. And Geraldo, Manuel, and Humo. And the name of it is Apocalyptus or Apocalypsis or something like that. And this one is also was pressed over in Europe and Spain. But yeah, it came out in 1970 originally. So it was right at the height there of a lot of psych music, even though this one was pressed just recently last year. When I first listened to it, boy, I fell right in love with it because they have a couple of Michigan songs on here. It's just a private label there. But they did Are You Ready, which was Grand Funk Railroad, Mark Farner. And they also did 96 Tears, which was, of course, oh, geez. That's why I got the notes, which was Question Mark and the Mysterians. And a good friend of mine, Rudy Martinez, he's the one who wrote it. So, yeah, great psych album. Steve, you hit this one right on the head. Very, very good. It's one of my favorites now. So, next up, we have an album by the group Night Sun. And this is another one that a lot of psych lovers know about. It's called Morning. This one is a reissue. Originally, it was came out in 1972. It's by a German band. Doesn't get a very good picture there, but a German band, and it was on Hobbit Record. So, yeah, this is a great hard rock, hard psych album, and yeah, I love the hard psych especially, and you can see it in many of these albums, including this one. This one is St. Stephen. It was quite a bit to try to find information out about St. Stephen, but he originally, this is awesome centerfold, but he originally was in a band called A Front Page Review, and boy, I would love to get my hands on they just came out, I think, I don't know, it was like 2000 or something around there. Front Page Review finally got their album released, and they're out of Boston, Steve Caltalato, and St. Stephen was in 1969 out of Boston. Next up, we have High Tide. High Tide is one of my favorite bands. Originally, they came out with an album called Sea Shanties in 1969. Oh, that is one of my top psych albums of all time. This one is very good. They are an English band. This one was pressed in Europe also. Another beautiful centerfold. And it is on a pretty neat label called Cobra Records. And it's good. It's not as good as Sea Shanties, in my opinion, but I really think they're, as a band, they are top notch in the psych world. So yeah, that album is really good. This is an album, you've heard me say that it's essential for any psych collector. This is probably one of those albums. It is a group called The David. It was a band out of LA, and it's great. It's probably my favorite psych album of this bunch, and yeah, there's not much else to say about it. This originally was released in 1967, but this one too is a reissue. So as you've been keeping track, they're all reissues except for High Tide, which was released in '89, and that one is an original. But most of these next ones are originals. This is a band called T. Now, you may not have heard this band, or maybe you have, if you're into the early rock and roll. This album is called Tax Exile. The band is from Switzerland, and a very good band. You probably don't know too many other bands from Switzerland unless you are fans of Crocus. And there, it's on the Vertical, the new Vertical label, Vertigo. And yeah, this is a great album. But the main reason I was really looking for this is because I do like the band Crocus, and the lead singer of Crocus started out with T. It's Mark Solace, or Storace, Mark Storace. And yeah, his voice, oh man, he's got one of those perfect rock and roll voices. Just can bellow out the powerful high notes. Yeah, I do love Crocus. I was missing one of Crocus's albums from my collection, and not anymore. This one was released on MOV, Music on Vinyl, which makes it it's the centerfold, which makes it a top-notch pressing. Music on Vinyl's pressing, to me, is one of the better labels. This is just a private Colombian label, but yeah, Crocus. This album it almost takes you back to some of the earlier Crocus, like Pay It With Metal, or what is it, Headhunters. So yeah, I do like all of my Crocus albums, and like I said, Mark Storace is just a great lead singer. Oh, here's Music on Vinyl, red vinyl. Next up, Lige, Liege Lord. If you know your hair metal or your 80s metal, you will probably know this album. It is Burn to My Touch. And excellent. Geez, I'm sorry, it's got the shrink wrap on it, but right here, it's make all the people who love shrink wrap cringe. But I can't even get it off. Anyhow, there they are, if you can see them. It's a great hair metal. That's, the best way to describe it. They were a group from Connecticut. It was 1987. They were on Combat Records. And not much else I can say about it. But yeah, if you haven't heard of them, play a little bit. Just great, hard, heavy hair metal sound to it. Another band who was really hard and heavy is Manila Road. Oh, I've loved these guys for so long, and I am sad that the lead guitarist had passed away a few years back. This one was on High Rollers. Look at that cover, though. Does that scream heavy metal or what? Got a motorcycle in the picture of their group. 3-man band that just plays as hard as 3 men could possibly play. Dreams of Echelon. Echelon, or not Echelon, but Eschaton. Eschaton is, it's like a Greek word for, I got it down here, the final event at the end of the world. Dreams of Eschaton. And it is, if you've never heard Manila Road and you like heavy metal, then you are missing out. You've got to get a little bit of that. They're from Wichita, Kansas. There's people out in Kansas. Yeah, he died in Germany in 2018, right after a gig. I mean, he's had he knew he was having problems, chest pains, and he was only 60 years old, but died doing what he loved. This next album, without introduction, AC/DC. This one just happened to come in brand new at the local record store here, Radio Wasteland, Jim Gleason. And this is live at Agora Ballroom in Cleveland, 22 August 1977. And great album. Live Wire, She's Got Balls, Problem Child, High Voltage, Jack, Baby Please Don't Go, and Rocker. I have a few bootlegs of AC/DC, and now I have another one, and can't get enough AC/DC. I love them. I just love them. Another album I love is The Replacements. Let It Be. I have the original of this, but the album was, when I got it, had a little warp to it, so it didn't play very good. Since then I tried to straighten it, flatten it out, but it still doesn't play very good. But now I have a great copy of it, because this one is reissued in 2016. Originally was 1984. A group from Minneapolis. They were big fans of Husker Du, or at least, let's not say fans, let's just say they knew them well, who was also there from that area. Uh, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the last album I've got is another psych album. This one is an original. It is Lightning, and it also is from Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is another album I've been trying to get my hands on for a long time. It is a white labeled promo from PIP Records, and I got me a great copy. Just this is plus 3G plus all the way through it, and that one was originally 1970. So there you have it, folks. It was jam-packed for 20 minutes of records, and I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't get to let Hope say hello. This is my baby. She's with me all the time, my shadow, and she was napping in my lap most of the time. But thank you, everyone, and please stick around and come again. You know, sub us if you would, and till the next time. Bye bye.